everybody. Welcome to Tabletopped. It's Franco, your host. I'm sitting here with Nick, your other host, and also, who else is here at the table?
Baby boy Rio, ready to go.
Old man Shade.
Yeah, do we want to have, like, you guys want to have, so we're doing the game show thing again. Do we want to have, like team names? Like, each of you are your own teams, and then you can come up.
Oh, man.
Okay, so.
I think for me,
okay, go for it.
A team name I've always wanted to use was words that end with and which.
Okay.
The level of disappointment on Franco's face.
You've always wanted to use this name?
I think it's funny. I don't know why.
Words that end with and which?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Okay.
I mean, yeah. No,
okay.
It's okay.
Jackie's favorite joke is what's sticky and brown?
A stick.
A stick. Yeah. And I love anti-jokes too. So I love that.
Yeah, I guess that is an anti-joke.
It's absolutely an anti-joke.
I'm kidding. It was funny. It was great. I liked it. I'm having fun. Rio, what's your team name?
Our team name is going to be the Boise are back in town.
The Boise are back in town. Oh, should I write these down?
Because Boise is a town.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not great.
Okay, Shade, let's have it.
I mean, so I feel like why did you go with Boise as a town? Like, because they're back in town. Okay, cool.
Boise's a town, so it's back in itself.
Sandwich is also a town.
Yeah.
So
and an Earl.
Mm-hmm. I'll be the little town.
Oh my God,
that's perfect. We love that.
Man, we walked into that, Rio. He opened the door. He laid the trap. And he slowly lured us
It's the only
in.
mean thing that Shade does on the show.
Is continuously reference the Beauty and the Beast movie.
Yeah, and just
we
get
all
Nick
have
on it.
our weird little. Every human has a weird little thing they fixate on for some reason, and I don't fixate on that show, but that is a little stim in my mind of like little town, little quiet village. Can't help it. Actually, when I was younger, I also had. I mean, we all watched Family Guy when it was a thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's still going, but I don't care about it. Steak and eggs and steak. Anyone remember that? It was like these two. It was. I don't even really remember the context of it. It was like these two old timey like beach bodybuilder guys. Like they had the leotards, and they were going steak and eggs and steak. That's what she'd have for breakfast. I got it.
Nope. Everything you're saying is completely unexpected.
It was
completely bonkers.
Stuck in my head so much.
The only thing I remember from Family Guy are the chicken fights.
And I forgot about those until you just mentioned them. Yeah.
Nick doesn't probably remember that because he wasn't born yet.
Sorry. Are you caught up on the pandemic?
Yeah.
Nick,
okay. I just learned about that. I just learned about that in school.
We used to watch TV via channels instead of a myriad of streaming services.
Can I say I recently was in a hotel in Minnesota and I was watching Cartoon Network.
Did you have to get permission from your parents to go?
Of course. I got my slip.
When you flew in, did you have a accompanying guardian accompanying you?
I didn't, but the flight attendant stayed with me. So it was okay.
Good.
Unaccompanied minor.
And they gave you the little pilot wings.
Yeah, exactly.
Stupid.
But I was watching Cartoon Network because it was playing blocks of. It was 3 episodes of Dexter, 3 episodes of
the murderer
Dexter
show?
the cartoon.
No, the cartoon.
Dexter's Laboratory.
Yeah, Dexter's Laboratory.
Okay.
And then we did.
Weird if the Cartoon Network is
It's a real brand shift. And then it was 3 episodes of Bob's Burgers. Then it was 3 episodes of American Dad, and then 3 episodes of Family Guy, and that was their programming block for the evening every single night.
That is a weird block.
Isn't that kind of sad? Is like Cartoon Network used to have so much weird, interesting stuff that they would try out.
Well, Adult Swim is totally still
thing,
doing that. Yeah.
That's like all they have.
Yeah, but they don't have any.
That's
like
just primetime show from other networks.
Yeah.
They've just stolen Fox's lineup.
Yeah, they just took animated.
It's true. Yeah.
Like animated adult.
But I mean, that's
shows.
how they started off as well, because it was just the Hanna-Barbera channel, more or less, at first.
Good point.
Yeah, but then from the 90s, they've had pretty consistent original programming.
Yeah, I mean, Toonami came back, didn't it?
It's still there, but I honestly, it kind of feels like it's just the brand slapped onto an animated show block, because they didn't even have animes. They had like Rick and Morty and all that kind of stuff.
Why? That doesn't feel right for
the
Toonami at all.
The whole point of Toonami is just to be anime.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, kind
It's like, hey, do you guys interested in some anime? Like, this is from a different country. This is the whole point of this programming blog.
Yeah, that's the way I got into it.
I got really, really paranoid. I have an anxiety problem or something, undiagnosed. Could you make sure that we're still being recorded?
We are. Yeah, because we really touched on some very serious issues.
Yeah, I just want to make sure.
We're good.
I want to tell you guys. The team name that I like to use a lot, and this is based on when I used to play soccer with like pickup soccer with my friends. My friend,
I think you're supposed to leave it on the ground.
I can't believe this. My friend Leah would always be one of the captains, and her team would always be Team Leah, which is pretty funny.
Yeah, it's fun.
And her husband would always be the opposing team captain. And his team name was Team Bad Guys. So I love Team Bad Guys. Is like one of my favorite.
I mean,
things
you
to
get
use.
a team too as the host, right?
No, I'm the judge. I don't get a team.
Yeah,
Franco bad guy.
Franco
TM.
Bad Guy. Okay, so we're gonna play that game that we played last time. Originated, I think, on GG No Re. So this is Guess the Edition. I will be reading out quotes from editions of Dungeons and Dragons over the past 50 years. And you will guess which edition it is from. As before, the editions are limited to the mainline D&D games. So 0E would be original Dungeons and Dragons, written by Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson. 1E would be Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, first edition, written by Gary Gygax in an effort to screw Dave Arneson out of royalties and stuff. But Dave Arneson won, and we love that for him. We are on this podcast. We are pro Arneson, anti Gygax.
Gygax had a fun name. Other than that,
that's basically all he had. But it's fine. People are flawed. 2E represents Dungeons and Dragons, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons Second Edition, which I believe.
real good shit.
Which is Shade's favorite, and was not written by Gygax, I believe. I think that was written in an effort to screw Gygax. Dungeons and Dragons Third Edition, or 3E.
This is where I came on.
Yeah, welcome to me.
Quick point of order:
Yeah.
Is 3E inclusive of 3.5?
It is not. This is just Third Edition, written when Dungeons and Dragons was acquired by Wizards of the Coast, and I believe when Wizards of the Coast was also immediately. I think Hasbro already owned Wizards of the Coast by the time 3E came.
That's correct. Really?
Yeah. So there's. Anytime there's been a D&D from WotC, it's also been from Hasbro. So from the Hasbro edition of Dungeons and Dragons.
I'm gonna fact check.
That's fine. You can fact check me. I don't care.
No, I'm fact checking myself.
No, you're right.
Stick it to Franco bad guy.
Listen, it's fine with me. I am a journalist. I have journalistic integrity. I am a pillar of the community. And then 4E represents Dungeons and Dragons 4th edition, which is sort of it's the second WotC edition.
I started rereading the 4th edition, so I really want to do a hack of it this year.
I'll definitely play that. I like 4th edition.
And I sent you those hacks as well.
Because that's when I came online. Is 4E.
Yep.
Yeah, 10 years after the rest of us.
You got off of your MMOs and into 4E. That's also where I came on, actually. Although I had played Pathfinder, but that doesn't count.
Wizards was acquired in 1999. 3E was 2000. So,
yeah, it was right before, and I think they had purchased it, had it. Purchased D&D,
because they had to
it,
develop it and shit. Yeah.
And then by the
you
time
said Third edition came out in 2000?
2000.
Exactly to. Okay, cool.
Yep.
that's
Turn of the
interesting.
millennium.
25 years, halfway
It
through.
took me 2 years to play after it had already been out for 2 years.
And then like the very next year, I think in 2003, 3.5 came
Tell you
out.
about when I started playing D&D? It was the summer between junior and senior year of high school. We were poor and didn't have anything to do, so we all bought one book and just spent the whole summer in a friend's house just playing D&D for like.
That's beautiful. I
3
love it.
months.
That is literally the fucking best.
That's like the dream, right?
Yeah, right.
That's like the quintessential D&D experience.
You just wrote a D&D commercial.
D&D's gotten for me through some hard times.
Do you remember childhood? D&D remembers childhood.
Oh my God! Great, another Family Guy reference.
Oh yeah.
Jesus Christ. 5e, which is Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition. released by WotC in Shade.
2014,
Nice.
and arguably it's actually my shit since I really like 5e, but I like all the content from 2e.
Yeah.
I've heard it described as Shades a guzzler of 5th edition rules.
Yeah,
Boy.
we said that off mic earlier.
Oh,
And,
I was...
I wasn't going to credit it to anyone. I just said I heard it.
It was just a reference to the fact that I often shill for modern D&D.
I will say, 5e made famous by Critical Role. Just
light him up. That's hilarious. Yeah,
And I'm trying to think of like, Shade has a weak Gygax, like a gag reflex, but it's Gygax, and you just,
Christ.
Wow, put respect on the man's name, okay?
it's really not coming together because you can't do a Gygax reflex because the whole X is reflex.
That man
it's a
has
hard
a
joke
family.
to make about a gag
You can't-
reflex and Gygax.
We don't
So,
have to. We don't have to.
Everyone just
hurt his
pretend that I did a
feelings,
really good job of making that joke land.
Rio. It probably didn't come across on the mic because I was laughing so hard no sound was coming out. So I just
He was
I think it
really
great.
clipping the mic. Yeah.
Yeah.
That happened a lot. Yeah,
It was
yeah.
completely clipped. Well, that was interesting. I don't know what to do with that, but the next one. And then the final option to choose from, which is my little spin on this game. Very, very clever spin on the game to add the most recent 2024 Dungeons & Dragons rules update.
Hey, how come you add the rules update for 5th edition but not for 3rd edition?
Just for fun.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought maybe you had like a moral stance.
Well, I don't really like. I'm not a big Pathfinder fan. Generally, I find it a little crunchy for my taste. I think the character options cool.
Yep.
The rules as themselves a little much, and so I'm not really that interested in 3.5. I think 3 basically covers all of it as far as like these are all the weird little things, and like I don't want to have you guys make like minute differences between them.
Yeah.
I am happy for you guys to catch the minute differences between the 2024 rules update and 5e because I think
Yeah,
it's funny.
it is.
And because we are more versed in 5e.
Yeah.
For anybody just coming to this, Shade I would call, as we said before, he's a
Shill.
He's a 5e pervert.
Yeah.
Nick is our story games freak, but recovering MMO addict. I am your OSR, but not in the bad way, guy. And very important to say. And Rio is he's in an experimental phase right now. He's finding himself.
Yeah.
We're pulling back curtains. We're seeing what's behind the dark.
I think you are really you're very like 3 point. You're really like 3 though. Like kind of a lot of your vocabulary comes from 3. We were gonna play the Fallout game, and the way you've described the rules to me, I'm just like, that's fucking crunchy. And so
Yeah, it's crunch.
so I'm just like, I think he's a little bit on the 3
I think
side.
I am.
Yeah.
I think I'm a 3rd gen boy.
I think you're a crunchy guy. Yeah, you're more of a crunch guy.
I'm crunchy, but I've got good personal hygiene.
Yeah, and it's
So Rio is Captain Crunch.
Captain Crunch.
No.
Okay,
I hate it.
Okay, the first one. Are you ready for
Oh,
this
we're
one?
playing now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's start playing. It's only 30 minutes into the episode. The rules of the game are meant to provide a fun game experience, not to describe the laws of physics in the worlds of D&D, let alone the real world. Don't let players argue that a bucket brigade of ordinary people can accelerate a spear to light speed by using the ready action to pass the spear to the next person in line. The ready action facilitates heroic action. It doesn't define the physical limitations of what can happen in a 6-second combat round.
That's a lot of rules, bro.
I think I actually have read this exact rule before.
There is one term in there that I think that is popped in. Like
Yeah.
I think I know what
Shall
it
I
is.
And I
repeat it?
have no fucking idea.
Shall I reread it?
No, I got my answer.
I think we got our answers.
Okay, let's go.
New shit.
It's the new shit.
Hell yeah!
That's-
You know what it was? It was the heroic action because they have
Ooh.
this heroic action and heroic inspiration are both coming
Yes.
up a lot at my new table visit this.
That's true. I forgot that they were calling it heroic inspiration these
Yeah.
days. And that actually screwed me for a second because I was like, wait, is this 4th edition? But it was
See, 'cause I just went like, they were over explaining the ready action. I was like, who would need to do that?
That is sick.
Yeah, no,
Little Critical Role perverts need that information.
Well, that's the other thing that hinted at it to me, because I was like, oh yeah, this feels much more cinematic.
Yeah.
Like don't let it accelerate to light speed. It's like, okay.
Yeah, well, they actually also talked about it when they were, because I think that's from the DMG for the new stuff,
Yeah,
and it was in one of the DMG videos where they talked about how about the railgun.
It's kind of a famous line.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
It's a little,
That's really cool. I like that
A
one.
little low ball.
Ding ding ding.
Or whatever it's called.
Oh, hey, you're recording our points?
Of course.
Fantastic.
The points matter.
They do matter.
This is not some other bullshit.
As the winner of the last round, they really do matter.
This determines how we introduce ourselves.
Don't talk yourself out of shit,
on
Shade,
the
also.
next episode.
What did you say?
So this determines how we introduce ourselves in the oncoming
That's
episodes.
super true. Yeah.
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 Also, the cash prize, I mean...
Whatever is in Franco's wallet.
Franco literally has to pay us $1 per point. So.
Oh, God.
I have his
not that
phone
much money.
and his Venmo account open. Don't worry, I got this.
Okay, next question. Character alignment, including various monsters and creatures, : Before the game begins, it is not only necessary to select a role, but it is also necessary to determine what stance the character will take: law, neutrality, or chaos.
I have my answer.
Ooh, interesting.
Character alignment,
me think
including
about that
various
one.
monsters and creatures. Before the game begins, it is not only necessary to select a role, but it is also necessary to determine what stance the character will take: law, neutrality, or chaos.
I've locked in. I don't know if I'm right though.
I'm locked into...
Okay, let's show it up.
2E?
Oh,
We got a span. We got 2 to 4E here.
okay. So Boise said the Boise boys say 4E. That's confusing. Nobody's gonna... Rio says 4E. Wrong. Shade says 2E. Wrong. And Nick, you say 3E. Wrong. This is original Dungeons and Dragons.
So
Wow.
that was the
Law, neutrality, and chaos.
correct.
Not good and evil.
The fact that there weren't. So that's interesting because
Select a role.
yes,
That was the thing that was.
and I
like,
think I think they were borrowing from ideas presented by Michael Moorcock in The Eternal Champion in that as well.
Moorcock.
Yeah.
we all been there, right? Anyway. Well, for me, the thing was like.
Elaborate.
Where are you exactly?
We've all been there. More.
So here we go. This is what my thought process here was that we have been moving away from alignment in like rules for the last like 3 editions. So I was like, it's earlier than 4E, but other than that, I had no idea.
Sorry, I just threw Shade some shade because he was drinking water out of a Coke bottle.
I had a glass Coke bottle.
Did you wash out the
I
Coke?
rinsed it out.
So, on an episode of Wild Magic,
this is true.
Nick was drinking water out of a Dunkin' cup,
I mean,
but
And it still had a little bit of coffee in it.
but he still had a little coffee in it, and I was like, that is so atrocious.
So
to
just
me,
brown
etc.
water.
Pretty much, yeah.
that's
So he's
what
like
coffee
flavored,
is.
coffee
Morning
flavored
brown,
water.
man.
All right.
But here's the
You
thing.
need to calm down.
This is gonna be a thing that I don't know if this will gross you out or not. But when I was
Yeah,
a
it
kid,
is.
since we were very poor, I would like my whole family. We'd buy like a thing of cranberry juice. We'd drink a little bit, fill it back up with water.
So
Drink a
that-
little bit,
Like
fill it
halfway
up
through.
with- No, we would just as soon as
Oh,
we would just
my
fill it back up
my
with water.
father would do that
Sounds
with like
good.
glasses. He would do half a glass of whatever he was drinking, and then the other half would be watered down.
I mean, I do that now because
Well, now it's too strong. Yeah, it's too sweet. Yeah.
So, like,
sweet, too carbonated, a little both.
I think as long as it's water going into the container, for the most part, I'm okay with this.
What about milk? Milk and water.
Come on.
Like,
That's
no, like the same.
But that's
the
what
same,
was in your thing,
for the
your
same
coffee
glass.
thing.
Yeah,
for
I'm
the
just
same
saying, I'm just
glass,
asking.
I'm okay with it because like if it was an iced coffee, and you drink the fucking like the ice melts and you finish that off, that's not a crime.
I used to gag like scraping food into a trash can. when I was a
I get
kid.
that. Yeah.
I have a tactile thing for touching, so like dishes were really hard for me.
Yeah.
Dishes are hard for everyone. They're solid objects.
That's a very good
Oh
point.
my God. Drelb.
Question.
Drelb the halfling.
Yeah, drill the halfling.
Drelb the halfling, size S, can use a short sword with no difficulty, a size S weapon, or a long sword with 2 hands, a size M weapon. But a glaive size L is just too large for him to wield. Likewise, he can use a short bow, but is unable to handle a long bow. Shall I repeat this?
No, I got bored listening, so I know exactly which edition it must be.
I am.
That's awesome.
Oh wait, actually, this is making me second guess.
Make sure to hide it from the back because it's visible.
But if don't know if
I don't think people are going to use my answer to determine their answers.
Well, no, I'm just thinking because I was gonna guess 3E, but if you are super familiar because that was the edition you went in on, then you probably would have already known that. So it makes me think that maybe 3E is not.
Don't think that I'm thinking that hard about it.
I mean, that's a good point, though. I don't know.
I'm using 3E because you're trying to trick me, you motherfucker.
All right, cards up.
Also 3, but
Okay, so Nick and Shade, you say 3rd edition?
yeah, it's at 4.
This is 2nd edition.
Damn it!
The Boise are back in town.
So this is the thing: is it was either 2nd or 3rd, and I was like, I'd rather you not get the fucking point.
Wow, that's a double
insane.
blind. That's a double fake. Wow.
Because I wasn't going to switch at this point. I already locked in, so I'm like,
Shade,
if I'm wrong,
Locking in is
this
not
is
part of the
something
game.
I've learned about Shade this year that I'd never thought before. You are always playing 4-dimensional chess.
That's not true.
That is true.
That's
Like,
not
every
true.
time, like
He's
when,
a salesman.
Yeah, well, it's like with like Safa and everything. Not Safa, Senfi.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
And like ever since then, I was like, and then when we played
That's
Dungeon
Sophie over
Mayhem,
here, but,
not Senfi.
you mean Sora.
Sora.
Oh,
yeah.
Sora. Oh,
Yeah,
my
Wow.
God.
Ever since-
Learn your friends' names.
I know. We have
Literally
so many.
all of our characters use an S.
Yeah, I know, right? But Shade, like ever since you played that, I was like, wow, Shade has some diabolical nature to you.
yeah.
And then I played some board games with you, like Dungeon Mayhem and stuff,
Yeah,
and I'm
yeah.
like, holy shit, he is always thinking like 3 things
That's
ahead.
not true. I get
I think
lucky. I get
Shade-
lucky.
That's exactly what a 4th-dimensional chess player would
I know,
want
Rio,
everyone
that's what
to
I'm
think.
saying.
See,
He's fucking
the thing
tricking us.
about Shade is that I think that he uses games as a way to express ways of being that he is not comfortable with in
Correct.
the real world.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I love in God of War 2, the newer one. That depiction
That's the one
of
that has him fighting Nazis, right?
sort of. It's a bunch of Norse people.
Oh, got him. That's
so
right. We don't respect that here.
it's Odin. It's Odin. But that Odin, that's a good villain.
Yeah,
That's
he's
a good
so
villain.
bad. Oh man, I
That's
hate him.
if I had to be a villain, I'd want to be Odin.
I literally want to buy that game so that I can beat Odin. All right, what's
Yeah.
the next question?
It is. Oh, here it is. In general, you can try a skill check again if you fail and can keep trying indefinitely. Some skills, however, have consequences of failure that must be taken into account.
Oh man.
I picked my answer. But I see the gamifying of my brain says, no, you try a skill once. If you fail, you fail. You have to move the story on.
Which makes me think it's not an earlier edition.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
In general, you can try a skill check again if you fail and can keep trying indefinitely. Some skills, however, have consequences of failure that must be taken into account.
I'm locked in.
Yeah,
It's a
locked
total
in.
guess, but I'm
So
locked in.
stupid. Go for it. Ooh, hell yeah. You guys are, oh my God, this is great. Rio, that is correct. It is 3rd edition. Hell yeah, I'm all about this. I am rooting for Rio.
Rio's crushing. Do you remember
The
last
other
time
two
we
both
played?
said 4th edition.
Yeah, Rio. Last time we played this game, like the first 3
He threatened to
questions,
leave the show.
you sort of were like you got wrong, but then
Yeah.
every single
Yeah,
question
you
after
got
that,
real
you
good all of
came
a
back
sudden.
so hard. Oh man,
Shit.
I'm not going to
lose my
acknowledge
crown.
that. I don't want to jinx whatever. Like, how
I gotta stop. Okay.
Well, yeah, I mean, like what Rio was saying, like, yeah, that's kind of bullshit. I mean, the thing that Shade had said earlier too is that it's all just D&D, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Like it's all just like iterations on the same game. But I think there is like, what's so interesting about original D&D is that there were so many gaps left. If you've ever read The Elusive Shift by John Peterson, which I haven't read, but I've I don't know, it came up recently because MCDM did like a video on it, and he was like talking about
this
like
podcast is not sponsored.
the different like play structures, like different things with like whether there were debates about whether or not the player should know the rules,
Right.
you know, like stuff like that, and then like there's like this camp and that camp, and they would be like back and forth, and eventually, obviously, the players knowing the rules kind of won out. And there's still those types of tension in the game today because of how it's sort of evolved. So
I mean,
yeah.
this gets into the metagame argument. Like, you know, it's so difficult for me. Like, the limiting idea that the player should not know XYZ information is insane because you cannot present to someone a creature that is human-esque in appearance, happens to have a couple of fangs and an affinity for blood, and not expect them to know some of how to deal with this monster.
So I think the thing is that a lot of that type of culture, right, is the Free Kriegspiel revival is still doing that type of thing. The rules are only Game Master facing.
Right.
And so part of that is that you expect the players to engage with the fiction 100% of the time.
Right.
And a lot of OSR games, it's like you expect the players to engage with the fiction, but they still know the rules.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so there's it's like about, it's about saying like, it's like, oh, I look around the room. It's like I look around the room and it's like, okay, like what are you looking at? It's like, well, okay, I look behind this painting, I lift it up with my hand or whatever. And like being exact about it, right? Versus like I make a perception check.
Right.
And it's like that, those two schools of thought. And I think the thing I don't like about this rule, right, is that some skills, however, have the consequence of failure that must be taken into account. If you roll, there should be a consequence of failure, I think, is my opinion. But that is not the opinion of every table.
Can I? So at a recent table that I started DMing at, someone brought up a rule that I'd never heard, and I thought it was an interesting one. Basically, she had failed a lockpick. And then she was like, "Can I take a 10 on that?" And I said, "What does that mean?" And it's like, it takes 10 minutes, right?
Well, so I learned that from Rio, and that's the thing about how D&D is a folk tradition. It is not like a game.
Yeah.
And like Rio bringing in, it's like a 3rd edition rule, right?
Yeah, it's like a 3rd edition house rule where you just take 10. It's like you're going to take as long as it takes to do this.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly.
And you can it's just going to take you longer to do it.
And I thought that was brilliant because we've talked all about how timers are so important, and it basically the consequences. It's kind of just you're going to be here doing this for 10 minutes.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I mean, but I think like a lot of what is missing from consequences, right, in 5e is sort of like what I think and usually what I read in like OSR circles, right, is like time isn't as much of a factor. Isn't built into the 5th edition game itself. There isn't like, okay, like if you take 10 minutes on this, the guards might come around or something like that. Like that isn't built into the rules. Like I think as a DM you should be able to figure that out. But I think there's, you need to know that that's a thing that you can do, and that's not something that's provided in the books.
Right.
Time is always weird in like RPG games because it's like, oh, I'm going to do this. I'm going to spend an hour on it. And like, well, what time is that going to make the time of day? I was like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Just it's daytime for as long as we want it to be daytime.
Yeah.
It can take an hour, but that hour doesn't have to be the 1 to 2 o'clock. It can just be.
I think that's interesting, but I like to also be surprised. And I think with something like that, if I hadn't decided what time it was or I hadn't built a procedure to do it, I would randomize it so I didn't feel like there was bias. And I think we had talked about bias in maybe another episode where I like to eliminate as much of my bias as possible, and that's why I like using randomizers.
Oh, would you just roll a d12 to see what time?
Yeah, you can do that. Yeah, exactly.
Amazing.
That's
Or
how
then
I
roll a d12 and then roll like a d2 or something where you're just like 1 is morning, 2 is night or something.
You really want to
yeah.
randomize what time of day it is.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
I have such a hard time with day-night cycles in games because it's like, I mean, it happened all the time in like Lakewood or when we played Monster of the Week Rio, and you guys would be like, "So that how long did that take? Because we're in a rush." And I was like, "I don't fucking know. Like, I guess
there was no
an hour."
consequences for the rush.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
But in Monster of the Week, there's the timer.
clock,
There is the clock that is built in, and I think that is such a great innovation of that.
But to this point about like if there is no rush, if you have a character that has proficiency with something, and there is no rush, they should just be able to do it.
Yeah, they just do it.
They just do it.
That's a great point.
I think almost 100% of the time, I like to just say like, yeah, you just do it. I can't think of a consequence of you failing, and you have the
So they do
times.
it.
Unless
you have the time, skills, and tools. Dice Goblin, everybody check out his blog. It's a really great blog. Time, skill, and tools, like using those. And if you're missing one, like maybe make a skill test and that type of thing.
Yeah, I'm reading a rule system now where it's like they have some skill tests that are difficulty 0. Which means you can't fail it, but you are just rolling to see if there's a complication going to happen. Such as, oh, we're going to pick this lock. Great. It's a difficulty 0, but you still have to roll to see if a guard comes by or if you break something and it's loud.
Yeah, totally.
And I like that idea of like, this is so easy, you don't have to worry about it. But we are going to roll to see if something unpredictable.
Right. Yeah, I like that too.
This is This is funny because Nick just gave me a warning. So
You better
do you guys
fucking
want to
do
do 3 to 4 more questions? 5 more
I think
questions?
that would
4
be
more
fun.
questions?
Yeah.
Personally. 3
I don't
to
know.
4?
You're like, I want to catch up. I want to
Score.
Yeah, let's do 4 more questions. I got 4 more questions. I think they're good. I think you're
We're
going to
competing
enjoy
for
them.
second place too. Even.
Oh, yeah. Do you think...
I could bomb the next 4 questions.
Yeah, that's
So,
always possible.
Okay.
I'm guessing on vibes. So,
I feel like
there's-
Rio's on a hot streak
I think
today,
it's on
though.
us tricky.
All right, I'm going to plow through them, and no more fun commentary on it.
Oh, no.
We're just really, we're just going...
We'll do an episode after this where we just talk about all the ideas.
Okay.
We'll redo the 4 questions.
Yeah, right.
I mean, we could just do this game over and over, and this is the fodder for us.
Actually, that's not a bad
It's
format.
not bad. Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually
to
kinda
peek
like
behind
that.
the curtain, we've completely run out of ideas.
That's definitely what's happened.
Okay. Yeah, this is a game that I stole from somebody. Okay, extras are the characters and creatures in the background that the main characters rarely, if ever, interact with. Extras might be elevated to more important rules by virtue of adventurers singling them out. For instance, a player might be hooked by a passing reference you make to a street urchin and try to strike up a conversation with the youngster. Suddenly, an extra on whom you place no importance becomes a central figure in an improvised role-playing scene. Ooh, lots of clues in that one, actually.
Yeah, I have my answer.
Shall I read it again?
I think I'm good.
Fuck, I'm gonna do it wrong. I know I'm wrong, but I'm locked in.
Okay, you're locked in?
Locked in.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Show them up. Oh, shit.
Ooh, wide gap.
So Rio says the
We have
2020
the full span here. We have
More or
0
less,
E to
yeah.
the 2024.
2024 rules from Rio. Shade says 0E. Nick says 2E. This is 5th edition.
No way.
Yeah.
Really?
An extra? They used the term an extra?
Yes.
See, that's what threw me. I was like, I don't think 5th edition ever said
Yep.
extras.
Extra.
I immediately put 4th onwards down because I was like, they know what an NPC is. Like MMOs have been around.
Yeah, no, I need to hear that
Well,
one more time.
Extras are the characters and creatures in the background that the main characters rarely, if ever, interact with. Extras might be elevated to more important roles by virtue of adventurers singling them out.
Interesting.
For instance, etc. Suddenly, an extra whom you place no importance on becomes a central figure in an improvised role-playing scene. Improvised role-playing scene.
The back half of it did make me.
Yeah.
I thought it was either you or me.
The term
But-
role-playing wasn't really invented for a while,
Yeah,
so definitely
yeah.
not 0E.
Yeah.
And
That's why I put 2E,
improvised
yeah.
role-playing scene is very like, we're acting. This is
Yeah.
a little bit of a
Yeah.
lark.
It's one of those things where
It's a weird
I
one.
made the selection and then I heard the last sentence like I'm just gonna stick with it because
That was a tough one. Wow.
Yeah, you're
No
telling
points.
me.
All right. Rio's still in the lead.
Angry villager rule. Anyone who has viewed a horror movie is aware of how dangerous angry villagers are. Whenever the referee finds that some player has committed an unforgivable outrage, this rule can be invoked to harass the offender into line.
Wow. Okay.
I mean I think I've got it.
That's an incredible rule.
I mean, it sounds like some 70s speak, but I'm also like,
Angry villager rule.
Yeah, it's just me not knowing. But
yeah.
I have picked an answer.
Same.
Show 'em up.
Wait, I'm not done.
Oh, angry
yeah.
villager rule.
Okay.
Okay, go.
I'm gonna go back to 0 again.
I went to 1.
Yeah, Rio went to 1. No, I was just going down the line for everybody, for the listeners.
Oh man.
Rio said 1st edition. Nick said 4th edition. Shade is correct. This is original Dungeons and Dragons.
Wow.
And you were Little Town.
Yes, I'm Little Town.
Little Town
And it's been
was
a
right.
quiet village for my points.
Yeah.
I wonder if we should do it like you get 2 points for getting the exact right edition and then 1 point if you're on
Oh, like
either
a
side
scan?
of it.
Yeah.
That's an interesting idea.
So
Because
Like
there are
full
7
time?
multiple choice guesses.
Listen, this has already worked before. You get points. We declare a winner. Why break the system?
We want the money out of your wallet.
Yeah. More points, more money. baby.
Psionics are various powers derived from the brain, and they enable characters to. Oh, sorry. Let me start again. Psionics are various powers derived from the brain, and they enable characters so endowed to perform in ways which resemble magical abilities.
Hey, listener, it's just you and me right now. I'm fucking locked in. I know what this one is. I think. I'm in, baby.
So
I'm just going to guess why.
I don't think they liked it. It's too ASMR.
Don't whisper to our audience.
Listener, please give me strength.
okay, are we all locked in?
Listen, let me whisper
I'm
in
locked
your
in.
ear.
Are we all locked in? I'm gonna tell you right now. I'm
is fucking
probably
dark side.
wrong.
Then why don't you pick one that you think would be right?
But
Well,
No.
That's super good advice, Franco.
No, that's great advice.
Well, because last episode, Shade kept talking himself out of answers.
But here's the thing.
Okay.
I think this is a trick question, so I'm going with the harder one, or that because I think, and I may be wrong, that this may be out of the rule set for a subclass.
Okay.
And that's where I'm going.
So everybody,
this started in Dark Sun, right? Am I wrong?
So when everybody shows them up, actually, could everyone say the thing that they chose?
Okay.
Okay, show them up.
I
just really quickly.
Words that end with andwich.
Oh my god.
Picked 3E.
The boys are back. The boysies are back in town. Chose 4E,
and I chose 5E.
Oh, you're all super wrong.
Really?
This is first edition.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Oh man, I thought that it came out with
I didn't think
the Dark
Psionic
Sun.
showed up until 3rd, and then I was like, "Is this gonna be like a?"
It's actually, I think it's been actually around since original D&D.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't know
because
that.
they're coming out of like a sci-fi. Remember that they had like fucking androids. They had everything back.
You're
in the
so
old
right.
stuff.
Yeah, like
man.
it's that fucking
But
80s time.
Do
Man.
you think you would buy a fucking android if they came on the market?
No.
Oh my god.
But no, I thought it was actually like maybe a sub like little sentence in the one of the
Nick would.
fucking
Make a sub
robes.
joke. No?
I was watching Nick.
Nick lose it over the fucking android? Man.
Awful. Absolutely gruesome.
God,
Two more.
I don't think I can catch up now. I just need to
No,
fight for second
yeah.
place.
I think you got it.
Do you guys want to do 2 more questions?
No, you're
Yeah.
ahead of me, man.
Let's do 2 more questions.
Yeah, let's do it.
And then we'll be done. You cannot have a meaningful campaign if strict time records are not kept.
All right.
You cannot have a meaningful campaign if strict time records are not kept.
I have my
This is
answer.
in all caps as well.
I'm locked in.
This is also in all caps.
God,
I
the all
must say.
caps actually makes me change this.
You cannot have a meaningful campaign if strict time records are not kept. All caps.
Okay, I'm locked.
in.
Locked.
Show them up.
I got 1st edition for the boysies are back in town.
They all say the same thing, first edition, and they're correct.
Yeah. The all caps that pointed it out for me because I was gonna go OE, but
Why would that change it?
that is the kind of bullshit that like when someo's trying to
reiterate a point.
formalize themselves for the first
gotcha.
time.
Yeah.
They're like, ooh, let's figure out formatting this time.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that's so funny. I didn't think about it that
All
way.
right, so that question had no effect on the game.
Damn, man. I have
It does
2
affect how many
points.
dollars come out of my wallet.
Oh yeah, sure. We all got a point per dollar. $1 per point.
So I guess Shade can tie it up. So right now, this is the last question. Shade can tie it up, and we've got Rio with 4 points, Shade with 3 points, and Nick with 2 points.
I got to fight.
Hey,
for
4-3-2. That's fun.
Yeah, right.
4-3-2.
That scratches a nice point in my brain.
Well, do we want? I mean, as a group, do we want to make this last question count for 2?
No. No, you don't get to decide that. This is not a democracy. This is the game that I'm running.
what if I want to win?
No.
Yeah, stop trying to DM the game from the player side. We did an episode about that too, I think.
Listen to it on the backlog somewhere.
Anywhere you can find podcasts.
When using a mirror, a light source must be present. Second, attempting to direct your actions by looking in a mirror is very disorienting. Try it and see. Thus, all actions requiring an ability or proficiency check or an attack roll suffer a -2 penalty. The character also loses all dexterity bonuses to armor class if fighting an opponent seen only in a mirror.
All right.
All right, I got my answer.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. When using a mirror, a light source must be present. Second,
Shade.
attempting to direct your actions.
Are you sure you want to do that, Shade? You
Jesus
might
Christ.
fuck up. You
Hey,
might
try
try
it and
to
see.
I got it. I'm good.
Logedele.
I'm good. We're
That
all
is
locked
a
in. Yeah.
that is a reference to St. Augustine's Confessions. Okay, show it up.
The boysies are saying 2nd edition.
Rio says 2nd edition. Shade
Third.
says 3rd edition. Nick says 4th edition. This is 2nd edition.
Are you fucking kidding me? God
Oh
damn
man,
it.
Rio runs away with it. He runs away with it. Even if it has even if there had been a goal beside that goal, he couldn't have made it
Yeah,
in.
that
That
was
is a
really
joke
good,
from
Rio.
FIFA.
Good. So that's interesting.
That's
You know,
I thought that was
the mirror light source thing also appears in 1st edition.
Yes, it
but-
does.
Yeah.
Sorry, but so can you repeat the stuff about the proficiency and
The character also loses all dexterity bonuses to armor class if fighting an opponent seen only in a mirror.
See, I thought the dexterity bonus armor class thing felt more modern, and so I was like 4E maybe. But
Well, it seemed too arbitrary to be a new edition,
Right.
and it seemed so punishing that it was like,
This is
had to be an older edition, and the way they were saying armor class index, like, well, those are probably all like around. I think so. I put that right above the Switch.
Yeah, right.
Of old to new, or what I consider old to new. It's like that's got to be second edition. They're using all the terms, but it's still very like you should make your players hate the game.
Right.
Yeah, and I fucking forgot that they had proficiency in second edition.
Can I just
What
shake your hand? You, I think, got all but one.
Oh, I think that's true.
Yeah, well done.
Good job,
Well done.
man. I'll give you a high five.
All vibes. All vibes.
All vibes.
Cool. All vibes, no knowledge.
All right, well,
Really
thanks.
Well, here's the
everybody.
crown. I am taking it off. I'm passing
Thank
it
you.
over. There
I
you
have
are.
it. It's going on my head. I'm going through Franco's wallet.
So
I have all his cash monies.
I don't carry cash on me. So Rio, congratulations. I get this like weird feeling that Rio was like studying for this for some reason. I don't know why. I just did.
How would you even study? I'm going to read all 7.
You just said that you read all of 4E, or you were reading 4E again.
I said I would like to hack 4E. I haven't touched the 4E book.
All right. I mean, I'm not like it's fine if you guys study for this. It's fine.
I actually really appreciate it.
Actually, you know, it's
Yeah, I studied.
I'll send you home with
I
homework.
studied for this game that you announced we were playing today.
Yeah.
Listen, I don't know what to tell you. All right, thanks everybody. You can find us on tabletopppod.com. There you can see a link to our Patreon page, patreon.com/tabletopppod.
Just tabletop.
Tabletop. Yeah. And if you join for free, you can download a copy of Last Hunting of the Boar, which is a module that me and Nick are working on. You can take that up, play test it, play with your friends, send us some feedback. But don't hurt us our feelings. Don't hurt our feelings about it, but you can give us critical feedback, and we'd be much appreciative. And then we can get on the way to making it a nice-looking published module. And maybe we'll print it out. Who knows? Anyway, thanks everybody for listening, and see you later.
Bye.
Later.
Bye.
Bye.